The wind did not merely pass over the deserts of the ancient world, it cried. It cried across the dry valleys of Canaan, through empty wells, starving villages, and frightened caravans carrying the last hope of survival. Families abandoned their homes. Children slept hungry beneath collapsing tents. Entire tribes searched desperately for grain, while the earth beneath them cracked from famine. And in the middle of that suffering, one family began a journey that would quietly change the course of history forever. Welcome. Tonight we uncover one of the most mysterious and powerful beginnings in ancient history, the hidden arrival of Bani Israel in Egypt. This is not merely the story of migration, not merely the story of famine, and not merely the story of an ancient kingdom. This is the story of divine destiny, of prophecy, of betrayal, of survival, and of how Allah prepared an entire nation for a future nobody could yet imagine. Using the historical narratives found in the Holy Qur'an, classical Islamic tafsir, and respected historical traditions, we travel back thousands of years to the age of Prophet Yaqub AS and his noble family. At that time, Egypt stood among the greatest civilizations on earth. Its massive temples towered beneath the blazing sun. The Nile River flowed like the lifeline of an empire. Its rulers possessed unimaginable wealth. Its armies inspired fear across nations. And its people believed their kingdom would never fall. Yet hidden within the greatness of Egypt, Allah was preparing a place for a small family that would later become known throughout history as Bani Israel. The roots of this story begin with Prophet Ibrahim AS, a man honored by billions across generations, a prophet whose faith was tested through fire, exile, sacrifice, and unwavering devotion to Allah. From his blessed lineage came Prophet Ishaq AS, and then Prophet Yaqub AS. Prophet Yaqub AS was also known by the title Israel, and so his descendants became known as Bani Israel, the children of Israel. Prophet Yaqub AS had 12 sons, who later became the foundation of the 12 tribes of Bani Israel. Among those sons was one whose beauty, character, wisdom, and destiny would become legendary, Prophet Yusuf AS. The Quran describes his story as Ahsan al-Qasas, the best of stories. And truly, the beginning of Bani Israel in Egypt cannot be understood without understanding the extraordinary life of Prophet Yusuf AS. As a child, Yusuf AS was deeply loved by his father. This love ignited jealousy in the hearts of some of his brothers. What began as jealousy slowly transformed into hatred, until one day, they carried out a plan that would forever alter history. They took young Yusuf AS far from home and threw him into the darkness of a deep well. Imagine that moment, a young boy alone in silence. The sky disappearing above him, the voices of his brothers fading away, the fear, the confusion, the betrayal. But even inside that darkness, Allah had not abandoned him. Soon, a traveling caravan discovered the child and brought him to Egypt, where he was sold into slavery. From the outside, it appeared to be tragedy after tragedy. But in reality, every painful step was guiding Yusuf AS toward the destiny Allah had prepared for him. Years passed. Yusuf AS grew into a man known for honesty, wisdom, dignity, and extraordinary character. Yet even then, severe trials continued. He faced temptation, false accusations, imprisonment, isolation. But through every hardship, he remained patient and faithful to Allah. Then came the turning point. The ruler of Egypt saw a mysterious dream that none of his advisors could explain. 7 fat cows being eaten by 7 thin cows, 7 green ears of grain, and 7 dry ones. When Yusuf AS interpreted the dream, he explained that Egypt would experience 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of devastating famine. Not only did he explain the dream, he proposed a complete strategy to save the kingdom. The ruler recognized his wisdom immediately, and so, the once-forgotten prisoner rose to become one of the most powerful men in Egypt. Under the leadership of Yusuf AS, enormous amounts of grain were stored during the years of prosperity. Then the famine arrived, and it spread far beyond Egypt. The lands of Canaan suffered terribly. Food disappeared. Trade routes became desperate lifelines. People traveled enormous distances searching for survival. Among those travelers were the brothers of Yusuf AS. They entered Egypt seeking grain, never imagining that the powerful official standing before them was the very brother they had betrayed years earlier. But Yusuf AS recognized them instantly. What followed was one of the most emotional reunions in sacred history. Eventually, Prophet Yaqub AS and his entire family were invited to settle in Egypt. This was the hidden beginning, not an invasion, not a conquest, but a migration born from famine, survival, and Allah's divine plan. The family of Prophet Yaqub AS entered Egypt with honor and protection because of the status of Yusuf AS. Historical Islamic traditions describe how they settled in the fertile eastern regions near the Nile Delta, where livestock could graze and communities could grow. At first, life in Egypt brought safety and stability. Bani Israel multiplied rapidly. Generations were born. Families expanded. Their numbers increased across the land. But history was slowly changing. The rulers who once respected the legacy of Yusuf AS eventually disappeared. New kings arose, and with them came fear. The growing population of Bani Israel began to worry the Egyptian rulers. What once had been welcomed slowly became viewed as a threat. Over time, suspicion turned into oppression. The descendants of Prophet Yaqub AS were forced into labor. Many were treated harshly. Their freedom was restricted, their dignity attacked. The same land that once sheltered them became the land of their suffering. And eventually, Egypt would witness one of the greatest confrontations in human history: the rise of Pharaoh, a ruler whose arrogance became so extreme that he declared himself a god before his people. It was during this dark era that Allah would send another mighty prophet from among Bani Israel, Prophet Musa AS. But that is a story that begins after centuries of hidden history already buried beneath the sands of Egypt. The arrival of Bani Israel in Egypt was never random. Every moment, from the well of Yusuf AS to the prison, to the palace, to the famine, to the migration of Yaqub's family, unfolded according to the wisdom of Allah. And this is what makes the story so powerful. Human beings see chaos. Allah writes destiny. Brothers believed they were destroying Yusuf AS, but they were unknowingly opening the gates of Egypt for an entire nation. A prison cell became the road to power. A famine became the cause of migration. And suffering became the beginning of a divine plan that would echo through history forever. For centuries, the world remembered the pyramids, the kings, and the treasures of Egypt. But hidden beneath that glory was another story, the story of a family chosen by Allah, walking quietly through the gates of Egypt, unaware that their descendants would one day stand at the center of one of the greatest spiritual struggles in history. And that was the hidden beginning of Bani Israel in Egypt.